Hello my beautiful Cancerians, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your twin flame reading for the end of August right through the end of September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, I've just brought back the competition for one subscriber to win a free personal reading from me, so I'll let you know how to win that a little bit later on because some people are here just for the reading, and of course, I don't like to waste anyone's time. So with that in mind, let us get straight to your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Cancerians, this is your twin flame reading for those twins who are currently in separation. The first pile will be your pile, the second pile will be your person's pile, and the third pile is the unified energy of how things come together. Also, it's worth checking up online what it means to be in a twin flame connection, because if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, that is not a twin flame connection. That's more likely to be a false flame connection that will drain you of your beautiful love, of course, and waste your wonderful time, okay? Now, twin flames, they are magnetic. They are an otherworldly experience, all-consuming, almost obsessive at first. You can't stop thinking about your twin. It is magnetic, and they feel the same. I want you to be aware of that. They feel the same, okay? Now, a false flame, and even a karmic, will trigger you without any evolution on either side, and that's how you know. If you are growing from the experience, then more likely you are with your twin. And twin flames, whilst they are very intense and passionate, and I actually felt in your energy with the guide chimes, there was a very chaotic, almost like false start to the beginning of the connection there, which really grew into something very passionate, very intense, very physical in nature. Of course, there were feelings there as well, but then suddenly it started to dissipate, and I got an energy of silence, both people kind of withdrawing into their souls. Okay, now I want you to be aware that the twin flame dynamic, whilst it is very physical and romantic at first, it's more of a spiritual awakening than an actual physically romantic relationship. It's more of a process that prepares us to release lower vibrational frequencies that keep us stuck in fear, unhealthy attachments, and even addictive patterns, cycles of repeat. Now, it's a very intense inner vibrational journey. It's a transformation, but it is a personal journey of discovery, and it is one that must be done alone. There tends to be a runner, a chaser, and a separation period, which of course is not always typical, but it tends to be the norm. And of course, both parties have a job to do in the twin flame dynamic because it is more of a process. And that job is to trigger each other in order to amplify anything that has been left unhealed, because twin flames, they tend to have gone through very challenging and sometimes traumatic experiences before they even meet. And if the healing has not been done, then there will be a blockage in the connection. So, the twins' job on either side is to trigger each other to process that, heal it, but also to discover your true life purpose and mission, and of course, embrace unconditional love for self. Only then can the reunion process take place and a relationship be sustainable. Now, you'll notice that your twin always gravitates towards you. They want to be with you, but they're confused about what the blockage is. They don't really understand how to, move past it at first. And vice versa, of course. You want to be with your twin. However, something doesn't click, it doesn't feel right, or it doesn't gel at some point in your union, and that's because you're meant to be separate on purpose. That is a rite of passage. It's a formed sacred union as a result of shared difficulty and pain. Your twin will reflect back to you your greatest strengths, but also your greatest weaknesses, and their presence is to amplify areas to promote healing, personal growth, and transformation. I always describe twin flames like magnets. Both identical in polarities. You share the same frequency at the very core of you. And of course, two magnets that are charged in the same way, the polarities are identical. They attract each other, but also repel each other. There is a space in between. They want to connect, but they can't. And that space has a purpose. And that space is to identify the blockage, whether it is to heal a trust issue, codependency, self-loathing, addictions. There'll be many different reasons. It'll be very specific to your twin flame connection. It can also be that there's no unconditional love that has been experienced, and therefore people don't trust it. So whatever it is, please apply it to your situation, because there will be something specific to your twin flame connection. And, both magnets need to change their frequencies. And the only way to do that is to step back, because if you keep, pursuing a magnet, shall we say, with the same frequency, it's going to be equidistant. It's never going to change. Both magnets are the same. It's going to be back and forth, and I feel you may have dealt with that with this person. But then as soon as one of the magnets, which often is the chaser, needs to go through a major awakening, how would you like to receive? Then of course they change the frequency. So if you are the chaser, for example, focusing on unconditional love, focusing on your priorities, your needs, putting all that love, care, and devotion inwards onto your path and into yourself, of course, this will change your frequency. You have a spiritual evolution point where, of course, you mature and you elevate, and that changes your frequency, and that draws your twin's magnet, shall we say, ever closer to you. But also, it gives them an option to step up or step out of your connection. They are given an opportunity to elevate in the connection as well, until such time both frequencies align in a match where they can come together, okay? It's not a game, it's an energetic exchange, and it's also worth noting that it's a mirrored experience. So basically, if the runner is looking at their divine counterpart, they're looking in a mirror of all the things within themselves that are being amplified that they've been running away from their whole life. Whatever that is, it'll be specific to your twin, but this is about denying their feelings, pushing their twin away. It's a rejection of self rather than rejecting their twin. However, it does feel like a rejection. And I always say, do not wait for your twin, because it is a process, and it could take days, weeks, months, years, decades for them to really heal or look at the stuff and proceed onto their purpose path. And you also have a path, and divine intervention will come together to bring you both together. I kid you not, I bumped into my twin in a city of millions of people, in a couple of places, actually. I bumped into them 3 places, okay, 3 very specific places. I was like, what? There's 2 major ones, but the other one was kind of more of a shared space that this person would have perhaps been there at some point. So, us bumping into each other would not have been as rare as the other occasions, which were totally rare, okay? So the universe brings you back together to try again. As you evolve, you come back at stages and you see if you can make it work. But make sure that actions match words, because if a person is coming in, time and time again, and it's not evolving, there's no change, or at least, effort to change, then you could be dealing with a false flame or a karmic. So just watch out for that, okay? But looking at your energy with this person right now, I feel it's all about unconditional love, actually. I feel like your person has had an experience before they met you, because they have a 6 of Swords. So they went through a very turbulent time before they met you. And The main energy I'm getting straight away is that they can see that you are their destiny, but they felt unworthy of your love, and that is something within themselves. There's some self-loathing with this person, but we'll tap into your energy first, and of course we'll get to theirs and then the outcome. So let us start with your first card, but I hope that's like a little bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin flame dynamic. Both parties are dealing with something. I'm not here to give anyone an excuse or way out. I'm here to understand both sides so I can understand the outcome in this present frequency. And of course I'm reading for the next 6 weeks there for you as well. So your first card there is a stork. You've waited a long time for this person to step up in some way. The stork can indicate waiting and watching and sudden movements and improvements. So you may be feeling that there are periods of time that have been in between you and your person trying to make it work, but you thought about nesting with this person, settling down with this person. I mean, we've got the Nine of Swords, so right now, you know, you may feel that this experience kind of haunts you because you have a lot of love for this person, you know, you wanted to be with this person, you knew that this person was someone that you wanted to spend your life with. This is a stork that's nesting here, and there's a heart there, right there, and I mean, Queen of Hearts energy, because of course you can see that at the bottom, the Q and the heart, that's Queen of Cups energy. That means, you know, your energy was nurturing, you fell in love with this person, you were emotionally connected to this person, and you understood this person on a different level. You have a lot of empathy for this person. And whatever this person was going through when they first met you, they were... Well, I'm being given, it's like you were the lighthouse in their storm. You offered healing to this person. Now, I want you to be aware, very important, okay, a healer is often not someone you go to for healing, as it were. A healer is a person who triggers you to do your own healing. So, for example, if you go to a counselor or a psychologist, for example, they ask leading questions to help you identify a root cause so that you can find it within yourself to look at, process, and heal things. You're doing the healing journey yourself, but there has to be a trigger point. So this person, they saw you as very healing, but you offered the trigger point of the twin flame dynamic for them to really look in the mirror, okay? We've got the Hangman energy, so you feel like you've been waiting a long time. If you think about a stork nature, storks, they wait, they watch, and then they grab the opportunity, okay? Often they're going for the fish in the water, which connects to the Page of Cups energy. So this can indicate that you fell in love with this person and you fell in deep because, of course, this person is your twin. But we have that Hangman energy, which means you feel this person turned your life upside down in some way, helped you see things from different perspectives, not always positive. Got to be honest there, because we have a Nine of Swords, which can indicate it like triggered some fears, or, you know, it feels like you're haunted by this connection in some way. But it can also indicate that you taught this person. You know, the Hangman is all about knowledge, you know, so it can be that you feel there is a restriction, something that is holding you and this person back, and you're trying to identify it, really understand it, and look at it from new perspectives. But at the same time, you know, you surrendered to this connection. You gave all of yourself to this person because you saw a future with this person and you loved, okay? And I feel this person also, looking at the energy, I mean, this person was very inconsistent, wishy-washy, very confused in life. They feel a little bit lost when they met you. They have the Ways card. So this person, it's not that they were directionless. It felt that their inner compass was a little bit off. Okay, and I feel like they were trying to work things out in life, and they were not expecting to fall in love here. But we have the Wheel of Fortune. They feel they were destined to meet you, but at first I feel like they sought sanctuary in you. And again, most importantly, you are not here just to be someone's emotional crutch, to heal someone or fix someone. You're here to be loved with wild abandon, to have that great love story, okay? And I feel you and this person, you can have that in the future. You can grow together. However, right now, you're at a stalemate because the stork is waiting and watching. And of course, the Hangman is feeling like you're suspended in this, you're in limbo, but the Hangman is withdrawn. So it's almost like you are not talking to this person, you're leaving it as it is right now. You know, you're not giving to this. I feel this is you seeing what this person's next move is. I mean, don't get me wrong, Nine of Swords, you think about this person a lot, almost all-consuming. You may feel obsessive sometimes. You may feel an energy of loss. Of course, you have been grieving this connection. You know, I feel like you've done everything you could do to try and, you know, hold on to this connection, and it feels like a grief because you feel like you've met love on a different level, and, you know, it's like you're grieving someone who is out there, but they're not connecting to you right now, which can feel really discombobulating, and it feels like you're in limbo with that card, okay? So that's what I'm getting from your energy. I feel a lot of you are going through a period of cleansing and clearing the past. You know, this can be that you've been holding on for a long time, hoping to move forward in this connection, but because there's been no movement, it's like you're going. You know, it's almost like I see this as, you know, if you were a mer person, and I know that sounds really weird, but if you're a mermaid or a merman, for example, it's like this is your tail disappearing into your emotions, into the ocean, never to be seen again. Like you are kind of like not allowing this person to see you or have access to you right now because you're focusing on your own emotional journey. You're focusing on your own priorities at this time, your own inner world. You're trying to silence the inner critic. You've been trying to shift any negative self-talk into having faith that possibly there could be a chance that you and this person could heal this, but you've not seen evidence of this right now. So I feel a lot of you are thinking about new possibilities, beginning to gather your sort of emotions together to look further afield on the horizon. Who else is out there? I feel like you didn't want to be in that position, but I feel there's an energy here of like you've had no other choice. But also, you know, when you get the Nine of Swords, this can be there's a lot of anguish and you feel like you were taken unawares in this connection, not just with the depth of emotions, but how it kind of like worked out, okay? You're really trying to focus more right now on what's important for you. Nine, of course, is a solitary energy, so it can be that you feel like you've given this person a window of opportunity to step up, but now you're stepping out, and that's it, because you feel fed up with this, you're so done with this, you're kind of like in fight or flight mode. It's almost like a trauma because you felt so deeply for this person, and you're trying to, you know, heal, focus on your home life, your family at this time, your projects, maybe your financial stability. But I feel like you're trying to ground your emotions in this because it weighs heavy on your mind, okay? And of course, there is an energy of something was said here where this person pushed you away. They were actually projecting into the connection is what I'm being given. They were pushing away something that was connected to themselves. Okay, so if they said something to you, I mean, I feel this person tried to, yeah, I'm just being given like push away because they felt like you were getting in too deep. Or, you know, if you have a look at this card, it's the Wheel of Fortune, right? But there's this ocean. Look at your calm waters there. So you feel very deeply, but you may not allow this person to see what's going on below the surface, or you don't often let people have access to that layer of you, but you let this person see a certain depth of you, of course. But I feel like you are a very deep feeling person, and your emotions is like you're trying to calmly understand what's going on. There's moments of like sheer sadness and grief there. But if you look at this person, like there's like waves crashing there. This person is very turbulent in their energy. This person does not feel safe in love. It's like they were destined to be dealt cards in life where they had challenge. And they just feel like everything they ever do or ever did just smashes to pieces or doesn't work out that way. And I feel you met this person at one of the lowest points in their life. That's what I'm picking up from this particular twin flame journey. May not resonate with everyone, but I have to honor the cards and the energy that's coming out with it. but still you offered patience and you waited for this person to figure things out, and you try to figure things out with them. You try to understand this person. That's what the hangman does. The hangman tries to, turn or shift the perspective to see things from the alternative. So it's almost like, to some degree, and I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love, my beautiful Cancerians, it's like you put your emotions aside at some point to really try and understand what your twin was going through. But I feel now you are recognizing the process is that if you don't change, nothing will change. If you repeat the cycle, you'll get the same outcome. So you're the catalyst for change. I feel like you're just waiting and watching at this time. And now I feel like, of course, you're going through a spiritual evolution. You're reflecting in order to, understand, but also in order to end an old way of doing things, like releasing here. There's an energy here of releasing the blockage or the restriction. But also I feel like you're taking stock of things. And I feel, there's an energy here of you kind of like starting to focus on your own path, enrich yourself in a different way, and really take care of your own needs. Things like mental wellness, for example, because you have the Nine of Swords there. It can be that you're trying to do some grounding work, meditation, yoga, or sitting with self, really trying to quieten the inner critic, for example, because I feel you've had a lot of intrusive thoughts regarding this, and rather than tear yourself down, because actually this person, your twin, stepping away was actually nothing to do with you. It's all to do with them feeling like they were directionless or they were lost. They also are running away from a part of themselves that they did not want to look at because you showed them the mirror of who they are and amplified the wound or the area, as it were, of where they need to look in order to heal and transform. So with that Six of Swords, they were in a transition period when they first met you. They weren't quite there yet. They were coming out of a turbulent time. That's what a Six of Swords means. And their overarching energy, I mean, you've got the stork there. You wanted to settle down with this person, when you met this person. And this person, I feel like they chose a direction where they protected themselves. As you can see, we've got the hand there that often connects to the Hamza hand of protection. So this can indicate this person, they're doing what the twin flame dynamic requires of them, which is to step away. They're in the rite of passage energy, which doesn't make it any better for you, my beautiful Cancerians. But I feel this person needed to walk away in order to find the calmness, because there's no calmness with this person. And this is when they first met you. Also, interesting. Thanks so much. I'm truly grateful. This person was very lost when they first met you. I'm being given a song by my guides, okay? And this is very specific. Thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. My guides are giving me, I am vulnerable to love and life, and still I'm needing. And you can teach me how to love you. Maybe. Okay, so this song, I feel this person has been very hurt. It feels like they felt like they were not good enough. There's something in this person's energy. It's like they don't need love or didn't need love when they first met you. It was like love is pain. No looking back. I mean, this is someone who's looking forward. They were looking forward and they didn't know really where they were going. I mean, they may have had a goal or a dream, but it's like in love, they felt aimless, as it were. And this person needed to learn that they deserve love. I mean, I don't really know the full lyrics of that song, but I feel there's an energy with that song of someone almost saying, like, I don't need love. I know I'm good enough. I don't need validation. I don't need any of these things. I'm all good by myself. But at the same time, there's this yearning, this need, this whisper from their soul, knowing that love is their destiny. So this person, Six of Swords, uncharted territory. This person has been through something. I mean, we've all been through something, but we must not allow it to impede on our happiness. The past can shape who we are and how we conduct ourselves and how we approach love. But because we have the Six of Swords, it was like just passing through. They're in a transition period, no ties. They're moving on to something else. or maybe they were like going in a different direction in life, or they were traveling, or they were not sure where they belonged in the world, for example. And when they met you, there's this energy right at the core of them, because this is the core feeling. The Hangman is like, you felt a familiarity with this person. It's like you knew this person before. You just sense that you were meant to be with each other. And there's an energy of like wanting to surrender to the union there, okay? But your person's like, they met you and they thought, oh, I'm destined to meet this person. And when they started to have feelings, Six of Swords, this means that this person has been through a hurt. This person has been with someone who sabotaged the connection, and they may have even sabotaged the connection also, because I'm getting an energy that this person was connected to somebody else before they met you. Maybe not instantly, like, you know, you met them and they just come out of something, but I feel like they've had an experience where it was very toxic and both parties sabotaged the connection to the point where it almost destroyed each other. You know, that's what I'm picking up on. And it's like this person was like, I'm not going to do that again. So I really get an energy. I mean, that song, I think I've heard that song before, and I think it's by Katie J. Pearson. So you may hear the song over the next coming weeks or months. This indicates your person may be about to message you, but I'll have to check on that, because we got the Eight of Swords, which is protection. Someone is really protecting their feelings. They feel like their hands are tied right now for some reason. You know, they didn't expect love to come on in. There's a lot of fear here, but it's all in their head, because the 8 is the number of the self, but this is a self-imposed restriction. And I need to find out what that is, because there's also the Judgment energy, which means, of course, both of you are judging the union from different perspectives, but at the same time, this is a reunion card. It means, can we try again? Can we save this? Can we actually learn to love ourselves and grow together? Because you have the tree there as well. And I feel like there is a potential for you and this person to settle down with each other, plant roots with each other in the future, but grounding is something that needs to occur. And if you look at your cards, you know, you've got the Hangman, so it feels like things are up in the air emotionally for you right now. You're trying to prioritize your own needs and do a deep dive to see how you feel about things. And your person, you know, Six of Swords is like, they're like on the water. They're kind of like trying to understand emotions, or they're trying to move ahead in some way, but there's this energy of protection. That's what Six of Swords means. It means that, you know, overcoming a problem, moving on, problem solving, having a spiritual breakthrough, or, you know, being on a journey where they're not sure where they're going to end up right now, because it's like this vast environment in front of them. But what is kind of positive there is the Ways card means that at a fork in the road. So they're doing some questioning in life. They're trying to work out their true destiny. I mean, this is how they feel about you, of course, but I feel like this person tried to fight fate, because the Six of Swords is to move away from something, and they've got the Wheel of Fortune there as well. And it's because they felt either they didn't have direction, or they felt they needed to step up in order to offer you a relationship that had a healthy foundation. And as you can see, those fields, but they're in the future, they're way in the distance there. Those fields are plowed, but this is like rugged territory. So it can be this person thought, you know what, in the future, I'll settle down. Not now, but in the future. But love just doesn't work like that. It happens when it happens, right? So I feel with this person, there's just a scatteredness. And they felt like, you know, no ties, I'm good. And I feel like they didn't have their life together. They tried to change their life, or they were in the middle of like a directional change in their life. And it was because something in their life had fallen apart, and they were trying to patch it all together. And then, of course, the twin flame dynamic happened, and they were like, what extra ingredient is this? So they felt like life was too chaotic to have you long-term in it. But there is an energy they always meant to return. Now, of course, you're not a light switch, my beautiful Cancerians. You can't be like turned on and off whenever they feel like it. So let me just pull a card on this person's energy, because, you know, 2 is kind of an energy where when you reduce it, 2 plus 2 is 4. This person needed to ground themselves, find a foundation, take ownership for their actions, and build a solid, blueprint for their future. They needed to find security in their own existence and their divine plan. Okay, so I feel this person is trying to find their way home to themselves first before they can offer any love to you, because this person feels like either they've learned through an experience that I feel it's more that it triggered a fear that they were not good enough. When actually you just wanted to love this person. You wanted to be with them. You wanted to connect with them. I feel like you merged with this person emotionally. We have the Magician card. Now the Magician card, of course, is an energy of like stepping into their personal power. I feel like the connection for them was magical. It was something that they never experienced before. But also I feel this person, there's, when you have the Magician card, it means there's something a little bit deeper that's hidden. Something that's got their attention or on their mind. Maybe because they've got these 6 of Swords, it's like, don't look over here, look over here. I'm going over here, don't look over here. When you think about a magician, it's sleight of hand, for example. And I just feel like this person was avoiding something. And I feel this is within themselves, not just, asking you to like look at this great life that we could have together, or this, just let's live in the moment. Let's not look at my past. They may have felt that was very much off limits, but there's something that they don't want to look at, or they're avoiding. They don't want to see this, whatever this is. We got the Magician card. We got the 7 of Wands. They're very guarded. 7 of Wands is an energy of independence, but it's also an energy of barriers, feeling that they need more self-confidence. And there's a defensiveness. It's like they were not looking for love. They blocked it. And this person actually has attention, but I feel like when they met you, it's like the holy grail of feelings. You offered them understanding. You cared enough to see beyond. You met a person who had gone through such a challenging experience, and it should have been a magical experience, love, of course, but I feel like they were with someone who was very jealous, very possessive, someone who was very competitive, someone that they argued with all the time, someone they needed to defend themselves from all the time. And I feel that just kind of closed themselves off to love. So I just feel in all of that, this person was under a lot of stress and they were defending themselves. It's like they were standing up to life and saying, I'm going to build a new life for me, because the last experience they had fell apart and they were not connecting to love because they were on the run. 6 of Swords, they were going somewhere. They were leaving something else that was very turbulent behind, and they were protecting themselves. And they were asking fate to bring them to their divine path. And actually, fate brought them to you. And they're like, what? Not another love situation. That's not what I mean. So that's what I'm getting from your person. 7s tend to be fork in the road energy, tends to be looking at the alternative path, avoiding one path in order to take another. So I feel like on the path, avoiding love, they found you. So love caught up with them, but this time it was their twin, which is you. So I feel that's something that they are understanding now in this period, because swords are all about understanding thoughts, and it can be that this person is also trying to quieten the inner critic, the intrusive thoughts, but there's still an outcome energy here with the 8 of Swords where 2 people in their head for very different reasons. I feel like you're both actually on the rite of passage period where you're meant to be separate on purpose, to focus on your purpose. And the purpose here mainly is to find grounding, but also love yourselves, because this is the card of unconditional love. To see the beauty in yourself, body, mind, and soul, that you can only be you, and that is your superpower. But also it is to connect with nature and to connect to your sense of purpose. The Judgment card is your calling card. It is the thing that you're here on this earthly plane and called to do. Every person has a mission, right? Twin flames have a very specific mission. So this is about you and your person kind of trying to get on that. And I feel like you are trying to do that, but I feel like your person is trying to work out what that is right now. So that's where I feel like you're at with this particular twin flame dynamic. This person's feeling a little bit lost. I feel like both of you are feeling a little bit bereft in this for different reasons. But I feel this person is leaving it up to destiny and has almost said, you know what, if I'm meant to be with Cancerian, then you know what, I'll find my way back. And I'm going to pull a quick card on this Wheel of Fortune on its own. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Great Angels. Can you please guide? We have the Knight of Swords. Now, I'm only picking the uprights in the deck, just so you're aware. Knight of Swords is, this person is making some lifestyle changes and choices here. And this card indicates that this person, because you've stepped back, remember the magnets, you are the catalyst for change. You're not giving to this, so that means this person is coming towards you. So you have changed the frequency and the dynamic. This card means that this person is making some swift changes in their life, and they are broadening their perspective. They're starting to learn. Okay, they're also looking at where their allegiance lies. I'm not really sure what that means for this person specifically, but I feel it's like they don't know where they're going, but they know that they were destined to meet you. So I feel it's that. They understand that they need to adapt a new way of behaving in order to make this relationship come good. So I feel this person is going to respond differently. They're having Okay, thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. I was about to say they're having a learned response, but I feel this person is unlearning a response to not always be on the run. Okay, they need to find their way home to self. This card indicates they're in a necessary transition period to kind of like move on from an obstacle. It seems to be an emotional obstacle for this person. And I feel like you will hear from this person. This card indicates they were battling with something when they met you. And of course, that's not going to help you because you were probably battling with something as well. We're all going through something different. That's why, compassion and understanding and unconditional love is always important, but not at the cost of yourself. So I feel if you've lost yourself in this, my beautiful Cancerians, it was time to take a step back. Because remember, the twin flame dynamic is to amplify things within the connection that when you walk away from this, you start to actually look at and go, why am I feeling that? What happened there? What's the message? What am I learning? What's the knowledge to be gained from this circumstance? Where's my sense of purpose? It kind of like puts you in a bit of a tailspin in order to be on the right path. So I feel like you stepping back has put your person in a period of seeking knowledge, trying to understand where they feel they are kind of like heading. And if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Knight of Swords is, going forward tends to be this direction, but Knight of Swords is pointing this direction. So I feel your person always meant to come back. So if they have come back, then you'll understand that they're drawn to you. It's not because it's convenient. It's that they're trying to understand why they keep being drawn to you, that they are fated to be with you, but there's something in the way at their core that they have not worked through and they cannot get past a certain level, but they try. That's how you know if it's a twin. Now, we have the outcome as the tree. So this means your overarching energy. In your future, you and your person, solid foundations can grow into something where both of you kind of branch out, experience life separately, and then grow together. Okay, but also I feel like you feel this person. Both of you communicate to each other in different ways. It is an unspoken bond. You may dream of this person. They're going to tell you that they dream of you. I feel like both of you are going to have a conversation in your future where you both dreamt of each other on the same night. You may even get a message from your person saying, I dreamt of you last night. And you're like, no way. I did the same. You may not tell this person at first, but maybe you're thinking, wow, we dreamt of each other. Maybe you met subconsciously to have a conversation that you cannot have in the 3D. And I don't really want to go into the 3D, the 5D. We're living in the moment right now. But this is about you kind of learning. Number 5 is the Hierophant energy. So I feel the core is something to do with a family or generational cycle of repeat that perhaps your person emulated. It feels like they had an experience where they repeated a cycle that they watched their family member go through, and they said they would never let that happen to them, but it did happen to them, and it kind of burst their bubble on love, as it were, because I'm seeing a balloon like pop, you know, and it really shocked them. And from that point on, they were like, I learned a lesson that love leaves, or love is painful, and I'm going to stay away. So they were kind of like drifting, passing on through. And I feel they caught feelings, and this is the outcome energy, which basically means that healthier foundations, unlearning generational patterns, or even unlearning kind of responses from previous experiences. Because just because one person in your past has conducted themselves in a certain way and it hurt you, disappointed you, let you down, or broke you, doesn't mean the next person is going to do the same. But because, you know, Six of Swords energy tends to come off the back of a Five of Swords, and it actually means, you know, you're conditioned to expect trouble ahead because of what went before. You're being guided towards safety when it comes to your emotions, and safer spaces when it comes to growing and living in life. But because of previous experiences, you kind of are in fight or flight mode or hypervigilance, expecting more of the same. And I feel that's the sort of person you're dealing with. They felt very vulnerable. I mean, even that song said they're vulnerable to love and life. So it's not just loving relationships or past experiences in love, it's life. This person, something in their heritage or something in their family lineage has kind of like influenced the way that they look at love. You know, sometimes twin flames has to do with our idea of what love looks like, and that can be traced back to our first experiences, you know, right from childhood, when we witness parents or guardians and how they conduct themselves in love. It's a culmination of life experiences and then unhealthy behaviors as we try to deal with this. And even healthy behaviors. It doesn't always have to be unhealthy. It can be just our responses. And there needs to be healing on a certain level for this person before they can move through and actually offer you the love that you truly deserve and desire. Now we do have that Eight of Swords. I need to pull a card on this, okay? 8 is the number of the self. And as you can see, we've got these two pillars. One is very broken and the other one is also broken there as well. So it can be that both of you are looking at the things that need repair in your personal life. Now this can be erecting healthier boundaries, okay, because these are like portal pillars, as it were, boundaries as to who gets access to you and how they get access to you. So they must come right in the center there. I hope you can see that there's a snake. So this can indicate some level of toxicity or a need to rebirth or transform. I hope you can see that in the middle of that card. Very symbolic. I love this card. A lot of uncertainty in this connection. A lot of fears, both of you fearful for different reasons, but ultimately trying to work through something. We got the Strength card. Yeah. So this person quieting the inner demons, as it were, or the inner battle, as it were, releasing that kind of like control and having courage of heart to move through this, do something bold and daring and overcome an obstacle. If you know the Strength card in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, you know the figure and the lion are taller than the mountain in the background. So this can be something that, you know, can be overcome with strength, with unconditional love. It's a challenge. However, it's about both parties being steadfast and saying, look, I need to work on myself. Number 8, again, so it's another card that's number 8. The Strength card is the number 8 card. So I feel both of you have to remain separate and go through a period of personal development and growth. First, find grounding, because, of course, the Hierophant is all about having faith, but it's also about downloading knowledge or learning more about the self. It's an energy of marriage in the future or settling down, being together, but there must be revelation first. And for some of you, I'm getting a very strong energy that in the future, you and your person may even talk about counseling or having an intermediary where you can grow together or find a way to overcome the obstacle together. Maybe something that your person will suggest because I feel like they want to try. But right now, I feel like you're resistant, you're holding back, and you are the catalyst for change. So I feel like you are kind of influencing the relationship from a positive perspective because you're not giving to this. You're not enabling behavior, which means this person has to move on from that behavior and find their way back to self and, of course, be back on their destined path. Now we have the Empress energy. So I feel there's something connected to your person's matriarchal side going on there. Either they witnessed something to do with their mother or their feminine guardian being trapped in a very toxic relationship is what I'm being given. This may not resonate with everyone out there, but that's something that's coming through. Being trapped in a toxic marriage or stuck in something that was going nowhere is what I'm seeing there. A difficult situation. You know, Eight of Swords is a difficult situation, or it is like protected, restricted, you know, it reached a certain level and they were trapped in it or stuck in it in some way. And I feel this person has been influenced by that because the tree is there, which is all about heritage. Okay. I am going to pull a card on the Empress because I feel more than anything, the lesson to learn in this twin flame dynamic, because there are lessons to be learnt, and the tree is all about the Hierophant energy, which is the lesson to be learnt, which is unconditional love for self. Okay. But also, if you're someone who has the ability to have children, for example, some of you may feel like you're wasting time, that you want to have a family and you just cannot wait for this person anymore. And you feel that, unfortunately, you don't want to, but you have to move forward if you are to aspire to achieve the things that you want and that are connected to your life philosophy. So if you do want to have a family, for example, it can be that you are deciding to be at that fork in the road, judge your situation, and leave this twin flame journey behind. So that's your prerogative. Not everyone takes the journey of the twin flame connection. I want you to be aware of that. But let me just pull a card on that Empress energy. Three of Wands. Yeah. Looking at alternatives. Three of Wands is the horizon, looking to like the horizon and saying what else is out there. But also the Three of Wands is like you're in harmony with your heart's desire. And you feel that this is not fulfilling you right now in its present form. So you must give back to self because there's a lot of eights here. But also this can be a card of you being on the right path by stepping away from this connection. You know, this is an energy of like, how can I put that? It's like you're a visionary. You're looking at your future right now, and the future for you and this person, because if you look up the meaning of the Three of Wands, it's connected to healing as well. It's like, don't rush into this. The healing process must occur. And when the moment is right, your ships will come in and you and your person will navigate back towards each other. It is a process. I always say, breathe. What is meant for you will never pass you by. I am testament to the fact that, you know, and I was the runner when I first met my person because I was very hurt from a previous experience. But this is your reading, not mine. So I'm highlighting that, you know, as a runner, I thought about my person all the time. But I was fearful because actually I've been very damaged in a previous relationship. So I can kind of see an energy, but I'm not here to like connect in any way. This is not my reading. These are the cards that have come out for your reading. But I want you to be aware that, you know, you have to find your way back to yourself first before you can, you know, offer love to another. And I feel that's something that your person is trying to do right now. I do feel that you will hear from this person, okay? Looking at the energy, I feel like, yes, deep down, they're still very confused about their life, their path, because of the cards that they got. But we do have the Judgment energy, which is a card of, you know, changing approaches. It is a card of leaving a pattern or a cycle that has just ended behind. It's like you can't go any further with where it's at. So there has to be a different approach. There has to be, you know, different actions. There has to be different perspectives, but also adapting to a new way of behaving in the connection. So with the Judgment card, this is always the card of another chance. So it can be that you're thinking, should I give this one more chance? Should I not? But I would be a little bit mindful because the Eight of Swords indicates there is still a root fear here in the connection that has not been resolved. This person is still avoiding something here, okay? So I would just be a little bit mindful to protect your wonderful self and observe a person's actions. I'm going to pull a quick card on that Judgment energy, because the Judgment card is about your calling. So I feel both of you are separate right now to go through this period of personal development and growth, and of course connect to your sense of purpose. But there is maturity here, because the Empress is a maturity card. It can indicate that you're nourishing yourself in a different way, that kindness, unconditional love is the path back towards each other. But those things must be activated for self first before you can come together in a union. Yeah, there's an abandonment issue. Oh, I think your person was cheated on, actually. We've got a Three of Pentacles here as well. This person talks about you to their friends, but what I'm getting here with that Five of Pentacles, there's an energy of looking at the alternative path, because this person has been abandoned. I feel like they are, it's like they have a sadness and they struggle with love, but they have a need for it. But it's like they shut themselves out from it, because the Eight of Swords is to shut something out of fear. And we have that Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is someone who focuses on their plans, you know, someone who is like the architect of their circumstances. So it can be that this person realizes that they kind of like ended up trying to avoid love, but trapped themselves in a very kind of like austere emotional environment where their fears have left them feeling a little bit bereft, like disconnected. So I'm getting an energy that this person may have been cheated on as well. And they have a trust issue to overcome, an abandonment issue to overcome. And only when the repair work is done can they come together in a union with you, which will be a process. Let me just see about communication with you before I move forward, because the Judgment card is a card of, can we make this work? Can we come together? Can we leave the past behind and surrender to the union? And they did get a Knight of Swords there as well. We got the Empress again. So doing the work, unconditional love. This could also be a person. We've got the Page of Pentacles and the King of Cups. So this person, there's an energy where they feel like they're not enough. So King of Cups is the highest love that love has to offer. We've got the Page of Pentacles, which is to sit with self and really reflect. It is to learn about, you know, the relationship, the effort that was made, take accountability for actions. Page of Pentacles is an energy of being worthy. You know, if you look up the meaning of the Page of Pentacles, especially in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the page holds a pentacle up to the sky. And it's like they feel like they've just got this one pentacle, and they feel like, you know, that's all I've got. In comparison to like an Empress and a King energy, it can be that they, deep down, the root fear, the thing that's in the middle of this relationship, I mean, there could be a little bit of an age gap there, because we are kind of getting this dynamic where the Page of Pentacles is like, this person feels like they're not worthy to offer you the love that you truly deserve and desire, and they have to find their way back towards having confidence within themselves. You need someone who can walk strongly by your side, my beautiful Cancerians. But also, this can be that this person has been cheated on, and this is the root cause. It's like it really did a number on their emotions. So they have to ground their emotions, okay? There is love at the core of this reading, and this person and you, because you would never get the Empress, which is unconditional love, and of course the King of Cups is unconditional love. It is, you know, a support system emotionally. It is someone who's intuitive. There's a bond. There's so many commonalities between you both, and you offered a gentle, loving energy that they want to find their way back towards you, but they have to find their way back to themselves to feel like they are worthy of your love. I know that sounds very complex, but humans are very complex creatures, and that's what I'm feeling from your person's energy. Now, I'm not here to try and make you feel sorry for this person, okay? This person needs to find their way back and take accountability, and of course, you are not here to enable someone's behavior or be an emotional crutch for this person. You're here to be loved. You're here to love yourself. You're here to lead with love. You're here to follow your true life's mission and purpose. So you're doing exactly what you need to do right now. And can you find your way back towards each other? It's a process, but I do see that it is possible in your future, okay? Oh, I'm just going to pull one more card on this, because one of the cards that have just popped out is I'm leaving a karmic connection behind. So the Six of Swords indicates they're leaving something behind, but I do not see another person in their energy. I just feel that this is the ghost of the past. They're not physically with someone. Six of Swords is someone who's on a journey on their own. I mean, you know, normally there'll be like a person and a child in the Six of Swords, but often, you know, the Six of Swords is depicted as fate or, you know, source guiding a person out of troubled times. So I'm leaving a karmic connection behind. Okay, so let me just show you that one. I'm leaving a karmic connection behind. So either you or this person, but I feel it's this person was going through that. I mentioned that even in this reading. I just feel it's like haunting their thoughts and their actions. It's really influenced this relationship. It got in the way, okay? Even though there wasn't physically a person, because there's only one viewpoint there and there's no one in their like viewpoint. It just feels like in the future, like I'll find love, but right now I haven't got it. I don't want it. Even though they had it with you, it's like this is how they met you. It's like they felt like they were unlovable, or they felt like love leaves. I feel like this person was cheated on. That's what I'm feeling. So they're realizing that actually they were with a karmic. We've also got, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. So these are conversations of things that have been left unsaid or things that have not been picked up in the reading so far. No one will ever compare to you. As I said, I feel like this person saw you as their fate, but they try to like fight fate because of their previous experience. I can't stop thinking about you. I actually feel this person does think about you a lot. They have racing thoughts about you, and then they try to put them to the side. But also, they're going to tell you about a dream that they've had of you, and I feel like you both dream of each other on the same night, which highlights another bond between you. It's like, it's making the synchronicities so obvious. But I feel also you can't stop thinking about this person. You try not to, but it says, nobody knows how I truly feel. And I feel right now, this is connected to both of you. Both of you feel like you're processing things, trying to work things out, trying to find your way through this right now. And also, I'm struggling to resolve my life. This is this person, as I said, they feel like lost or bereft. They don't know their path. I mean, they may have some goals. They may feel like they're headed in a certain direction because they're definitely heading somewhere. Both their cards are like, there's like something in the horizon, but at the same time, they're struggling with trying to work it all out or be dedicated to something or like accomplish it or get there. It's like they're moving towards something, but they feel like somehow it's not there yet. They feel like they can't offer something sustainable. So that's all the cards that have popped out there. I'm just going to go and get a drink of Orrin before we close. Ooh. We have the lantern. Now the lantern is to find your way. It is to light the way. And I feel both of you are going through a period of looking at the shadow self. I feel this is hermit territory because the hermit shines the lantern in the dark. So it can be that there is spiritual evolution here. It is a period where both of you are taking a time out. Now, as I said, that can take a long time or a short time, depends on each person finding their path. You know, Judgment card is a self-evaluation point where you're reaching for a new life. And in order to do that, certain things from the past, ways of conducting oneself, you're outgrowing patterns, basically. It's time to let go and rebirth. There is a freedom in that. But the lantern can indicate that, you know, this is a period of reflection, of seeing the light, of choosing healing, because often in the Hermit's Lantern there is a star, which is all about healing. So it's about looking at self, looking and identifying where needs to be healed before you can come back together. So the message is still the same, even in the trinket. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates with you, my beautiful Cancerians. Also, I am running a competition for one subscriber to win a free personal reading from me. All you have to do, actually, in order to win that reading is to put a candle emoji in the comments box below. And if you don't have access to a candle emoji, all you have to do is write the word candle, because there's one thing that this world really needs more of, and that is light. Okay, so if you could just do that, I will gravitate towards one subscriber, and I'll announce the winner's name at the end of September. So you have ample opportunity to enter. You can enter as many times as you want, or even once, whatever it is. And of course, I will announce that winner's name at the end of September. And the winner, you know, has to be a subscriber. And I'm only saying that not to get more subscriptions there. The subscriptions are free, by the way. All you have to do is just press subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. You can unsubscribe whenever you want. I'm not trying to get more subscribers. I'm just highlighting that YouTube has changed the algorithm. So in order for me to find your name, if my guides give me your name, I got to go searching for it in my YouTube channel. It doesn't come up with anyone's name that isn't connected to the subscribe button for some reason. I'm not sure why, but that's just the way it is. So in order to enter the competition and for me to find you, to tell you that you've won, you have to be a subscriber during that period, okay? So I just thought I'd let you know, otherwise I won't be able to find you, and then it will be misaligned. So I will leave it there. Thank you so much, my beautiful Cancerians, and love and light.